Okay, so so blankets go in an 8-fold. You stack 2 of them up. Long edge meets up with your long edge of your mat. You're gonna sit on the front edge of your blanket and lay down to where shoulder blades are on the floor.
Is this right?
Yeah, Mom. I did it.
Yeah, and scooch back more, Gayla. Scooch back more. A little bit more. That's it. Shoulders on the floor, not the blanket. So it makes a back bend for our heart space, our thoracic spine. And arms go wide to the sides, palms face up. And Alyssa, you scooch back more too. Scooch back more. There you go. So now legs go long here if your low back is okay with that. If it's not okay with that, since it's the beginning of class, you can bend your knees and put your feet flat on the floor, or you can put something under your knees to support them and elevate them a little, like your blocks or a pillow or a blanket. So once you're comfortable, you'll start clearing breaths. Inhale through the nose and exhale, blowing out the mouth. So these exhales, we're letting go of stress and tension and worries. We're softening the body. Unclenching your glutes. And let the inner thighs release. And allow the soles of your feet to soften. Take as many clearing breaths as you need. Slowing the breath down. And at any point when you feel ready, you'll start breathing fully through the nose. Now settle the low back and the belly. And feel the rib cage drop more, so unclench your back. Feeling the shoulders get heavier and the arms. Palms of the hands softer. Now swelling breaths into the rib cage. Expansive breaths. Fill up the front ribs. Exhale, slow out your nose now if possible. So we're creating even more space in the front body with that breath in. Opening up the rib cage, opening up the diaphragm, lengthening the belly and the core muscles. Try to create a little more softness in your throat and your neck. And if you'll soften your jaw and your tongue. Allow the eyes to sink into the head a little deeper and smoothing the forehead and the scalp. Now your body gets twice as heavy, twice as soft. And after you start relaxing into it, you might try straightening the legs again and see if your body allows that. And you're so grateful to be here. So grateful to take this time for yourself, taking good care of yourself, to realign and reconnect with your true self and your breath and this beautiful body that serves you so well. Okay, giving great thanks as we'll deepen the breath and wiggle the toes and fingers. All right, let's bend your knees and lift your hips up and pull your blankets out from under you and lay on your back, flat on the floor. And once your blankets are out of the way, then take your arms wide to the sides and keep your knees bent and take your feet wide to the edges of your mat and do windshield wipers with your legs. So both knees go to the right, both knees drop to the left, and just keep going side to side like windshield wipers. Steady, long breath. Starting to open up the low back and the hips. And we're bringing life force. This movement brings life force and energy to the pelvis and lumbar spine. And let's bring the knees up and see if you can spread your feet wider. And do wide windshield wipers, both to the right, both to the left. That goes deeper into the hip flexors by having your feet wider. So to the front thighs and front hips. Let both knees drop as far to the floor as they can. The next time your knees drop to the right, stay there. We want a pretty good stretch in the front of the left thigh. So if you need more stretch, just walk your left foot wider to the left. Flex your feet gently, so we're pushing out through the heels. So toes lift toward your shins. Then firm your belly and push your left knee down toward the floor. If there's strain felt in that left knee, put a block under your knee. To add some support, let's reach your arms overhead and grab your left wrist with your other hand and pull over your head toward the back wall. Good breaths. We're making a really long line from the left knee to the left hand. Good breaths. That's it. Now let your left shoulder settle back to the floor as best you can, and let your left rib cage settle toward the floor a little more. Gently firm your belly into the spine, lengthen your low back by pointing the tailbone down toward away from your head. Let's take another breath. And then soften. Knees come up and over to the left, so keep the feet wide. Want a pretty good stretch in the front of the right thigh and hip, so if you need to take your right foot a little wider, you do so. And then flexing your feet gently. Toes are lifting toward the shins. Both knees as close to the floor as they can get. Push the right knee firmly to the floor. As you firm the belly, so we've starting to lengthen the right front thigh, the quad, and the psoas muscle in the belly. Reach your arms overhead and grab your right wrist and actively pull toward the back wall. Good breaths. Neck is neutral, soft mouth. Make a longer line through the right side from the knee to the hand. Just take a good breath. And then one more. And soften your body. Knees come up. Walk the feet back together. And hug your knees into your chest. And it might feel good to rock side to side and massage your back on the floor. Okay, let's drop the feet down to the ground. We'll take the left leg long, keep the right knee bent. Grab the floor with the hands on each side of the hips, palms face down. Let's do a whirly gig. So right foot just barely lifts off the floor. The right thigh points straight up toward the ceiling. And we'll start little small circles here. So the circles move right on top of the hip joint. The circles go inward, upward, and then outward. Inward, upward, then outward. Now once you get that movement going, firm your belly on that right side especially, and breathe. Circle it out. Go like this. Go the other way. Yeah. Now, if you want to, you can start circling a little wider. So go to a medium circle. And you can even go use full range of motion with that leg. So that the knee pulls all the way up to the chest and then out wide and then straightens down and crosses over the other foot. So keep control in your core. If the movement gets too much, then go smaller. No big deal. Let's all go to medium circle again, if you went wider than that. And then let's go to small circle. Then hug the knee into the chest, soften the belly. Just relax the belly, relax the shoulders, good breath. Okay, let's drop that foot to the ground. And so keep the right knee bent, and then let that knee drop out wide, and let the foot touch the inside of your left thigh. So into like tree pose, except we're laying down. You can always use a block or a blanket under your right knee. Now, at first, let's just get passive, so soften everything. Once you're in good position, then relax and breathe. Just kind of observe what's happening in the body. Let's relax your glutes and your inner thighs, both sides, and let the pelvic floor relax more. And you're just observing where you feel tightness or stress or discomfort or freedom. Now let's bring your palms together at your heart. And the left leg, the one that's straight on the floor, flex the foot and get it strong. So push the back of the knee toward the floor gently. So flexing the foot means pushing out through the heel. Now firm your belly against the spine, lengthening your low back. And start to press your foot against your thigh a little better. Then push that right knee wide toward the floor more or into that support actively. So take an active tree pose. Think of widening the front hip bones. Low back is long, so kind of push the low back toward the floor. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. Inhale. Exhale. And soften. Let's let the arms go wide again and relax. Soften the whole body again. Low back releases, thighs release, glutes release, feet release. Observing, see if anything has changed since the first time we were here. Firm the belly, right knee points up toward the ceiling, straighten both legs, and rock the legs out all the way from the hips. Good breath. Now, arms long, legs long to the floor, and be heavy and soft. Relax. Let's observe the body. So let's notice the differences between the right and left leg. So often the right leg will feel longer after that sequence because we're affecting the psoas muscle in the deep core and the inner thigh muscles. So notice any differences between the low back on both sides, or maybe the sensation in the belly on both sides, right and left. Take a good breath in, good breath out. Okay, point the toes up toward the ceiling, legs are long against the floor, and left knee bends. Grab the floor near the hips, palms face down. Firm your belly and raise the left foot just off the floor, and we're circling that left knee. The circle goes inward, upward, and outward. Inward towards your midline, upward towards your head, and outward. Small circles to start with. Now gather strength in the left side of the belly. And breathe. Want to take the pressure out of the head. So we're creating strength in this core and length with our mobility. So you can always stay with small circles, or you can go to medium circles with the knee. That's it. Now try to maintain control in the belly so we don't go passive there. We keep strength and stability there. You can even put your hand on there if it's helpful. You can even go full range of motion with that leg. Solid, strong breath. If you need to, you can go smaller with your circle. Let's all go to medium circles now. if you went wide. Core strong. And then small circles again, right above the hip. Okay, hug that knee into the chest. Relax your belly. Good, satisfying breaths. Soft mouth, soft shoulders. Okay, drop that foot to the ground, keep the knee bent. Drop that left knee wide. So like reclined cobbler's position or tree pose. So you can always put support under your left knee, the bent knee, with a blocket, a blocket or a blank. Now let's start with passive pose, so just relaxing. Letting the glutes release and the thighs. Let the knees drop heavy. We're not pushing, we're releasing, letting go. Low back drops. Solid, long breath. If you want an audible breath, we create a soft H sound in the back of the throat, where you can hear the breath, and that sound helps hypnotize you, keep you in a meditative place, and keeps you in your body. Try to let go a little more. We're observing restriction on this left side, or space, discomfort, freedom. Now let's get active in our tree pose. So straighten your right leg actively. Toes point up toward the ceiling so that right foot is flexed. Let's push your left foot against your inner thigh or the inside of that leg wherever it's touching. And bringing your palms together to heart. Now point the tailbone down and firm your belly. Think of pushing your low back toward the floor a little bit better. And you can push both legs against the floor, pushing that left knee down. You can also squeeze your foot against your right thigh. So we're active in our pose now, shoulders down. Jaws soft though, big breaths. So legs are strong here. Another breath. Then let's release. Relax and drop to the floor, passive pose again. Noticing any changes. Big breath in, big breath out. Okay, so firm your belly, left knee moves up toward the ceiling, and then straighten both legs to the floor. Rock the legs out all the way from the hips. And just flop to the floor. Long arms, long legs. Yes. Do another listening station, observing the body. Possibly feeling more balance between right and left side. Through the low back, the glutes, the thighs, even the knees. Let's take a good breath in. Great breath out. Okay, let's all bend the knees. Feet flat on the floor. And if our arms are straight out to the side, let's move them halfway down towards your hips. So like a 45-degree angle. We're doing half fish pose. So you know what? Excuse me, we're not quite ready for that yet. So the placement of your arms is still the same though, okay? So let's press the shoulders into the ground, lift the heart up, and exhale, let the heart drop, roll the shoulders forward, up toward the ceiling. Inhale, shoulders press down, dome the heart up. Exhale, heart presses down, roll the shoulders up toward the ceiling. So when you inhale, turn your palms up. When you exhale, roll your palms down. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, heart drops. So we're creating more mobility in the the thoracic spine, and the rib cage, and the shoulders. Did you get a good adjustment?
What?
Did you get a good adjustment?
Sure.
Get the biggest range of motion you can with your rib cage and your shoulders. Getting the upper body warmed up. Let's do one more. And then relax. Gently roll your head side to side, loosen up the neck. And then back to center. Good breath in. Great breath out. Okay, we've got our arms at 45-degree angle still. So if they were wide, we go halfway down. Elbows bend and point your fingertips up toward the ceiling. We're going into half fish pose. So elbows push into the ground, dome the heart up to the sky. Now see if you can lift your chest up and slide it onto the top of your head. So we're pushing the elbows and the head and the butt down as we lift the heart and the spine up. So good breaths. We're using the elbows to push down to use the strength of our back here, or to engage the back. Breathe well. Try to lift your chin, slide up onto the top of your head. So rib cage should be off the floor if possible. There you go. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. One more. And then drop the head, drop the heart. Relax the arms. Gently rock the head side to side, loosen up the neck. And just melt to center for a moment. Big breath. So we're observing and listening to the body, what's going on in the body. And we're being a kind witness, non-judgmental witness. Just trying to do our best to listen to any communication the body is offering right now. So that comes through any sensation, whether it be uncomfortable or whether it be freedom. So let's take full fish pose now. So arms go straight to the floor, hands by your hips, palms face down, and legs go straight to the floor. Now arms stay as straight as possible and walk your hands under your hips. You can even slide your hands under your hips so much that your thumbs touch each other, as long as the arms can still be long and you're not stressed out. So if you're stressed out in your upper body, then move your hands further apart from each other. Now pull your elbows as close inward toward your center as possible. Now elbows push into the ground and start to dome your heart up to the sky. And then lift your chest up and slide up onto the top of your head. So the chest should be off the floor. So you're on your elbows, your butt, and your hands. Oh, excuse me, in your head. So breathing deeply, lifting the spine up into that beautiful back bend. Good breaths. So a comfortable curve in the neck. Should be up on the top of your head if you can. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. Kind of pull the shoulders back or squeeze the shoulder blades together a little more if you can. You're being kind about what you're doing. Your choices you're making are kind. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. And let's drop the head back to the ground and drop the heart back to the ground and release the hands. Shake the hands out. Good breath. Shake your legs out. Another good breath. And then drop your arms and legs and roll your head side to side. Loosen up your neck. Okay, let's bend your knees. Roll to one side and push yourself up to tabletop on your hands and knees. And let's do a round of cat and cow. So inhale, head and hips lift, sway your back. Exhale, head and hips drop, arch your back to the sky. Inhale, sway your back. Exhale, arch your back. Let's press the tops of your feet against the ground. And press the hands and feet firmly to the floor, really grounding yourself. So tops of the feet against the ground. We want to open up the fronts of the ankles if we can. When you lift your head, pull your shoulders back, widen your collarbone. And when you drop your head, push your shoulders down to widen your shoulder blades. Okay, neutral spine. Big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, so left hand goes high and wide with the inhale. Exhale, face the floor. Inhale, high and wide. Exhale, face the floor. Move into this wide twist that we're doing. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, drop it down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, drop it down. So remember, when you lift the arm, push down firmly with your bottom arm so that we're using both sides of the back muscles. Okay, so next time we drop the arm, lift the back of the hand, drop to the floor, and slide your hand behind your other arm and let your left shoulder settle to the floor, left ear settles to the floor. And right hand goes directly under your right elbow, which is out high and wide. So if this is uncomfortable, you can always put a flat blanket under your shoulder, but not your head. So it would look like this if you needed some support. That's good.
So we should be doing like
So push your right hand into the ground to turn your ribs a little bit more to the right if you can. So the blanket goes under your shoulder, but not your head.
Yep, got it.
Is that helpful at all?
Yeah, I wish I could pull it in for my.
So do this. So make it skinny. Yeah. And put it here so your arm and your shoulder can go on the blanket. Yeah. Your head falls off the front edge. There it goes. How's
But
that?
it's not lined up with my shoulder and hand.
You look good.
Okay, you say so. Good.
So turn your ribs to the right comfortably. Make sure your knees are under your hips so your low back is happy with what's going on. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. Even pull that right shoulder back a little more if you can. Take a deep breath into the rib cage. Just focus there for a few more breaths, filling up the ribs. So we're compressing them, so now we're using the breath to create more space. Nice stretch for your left side of your back too. Okay, soften. Push your right hand firmly into the ground to come to neutral slowly. Come onto your elbows and knees. Take a good breath in. Neutral spine, neutral neck. A few more breaths. Letting your body acclimate and balance out again. Okay, come up onto the elbows and knees again. And then hands and knees again. And right arm goes high and wide with the inhale. Exhale, face the floor. Inhale, high and wide. Exhale, face the floor. Remember, when you lift the top arm, push down firmly with the bottom one so that you're using both sides of your back muscles. Let's do one more, and then we'll do that thread the needle twist.
Now, if I feel like I'm falling forward, what am I doing wrong?
Nothing, because we are falling forward. But if you feel like you have too much pressure on your head, then put the blanket under your shoulder, under your right shoulder, and your arm too. So left hand is right under your left elbow, which is out high and wide. Push down with both arms and start to turn your ribs to the left as much as you can comfortably. So make sure there's not too much pressure on the head, that your neck is okay, your mouth is okay. If you're feeling stressed there, then support your right arm and shoulder with height under it. And pulling your left shoulder back a little bit more toward the wall behind your head. Make sure your knees are under your hips so your low back is happy. Now direct your breath into your rib cage. And fill up all the nooks and crannies in the lungs. And do one more breath like that. And soften. Push into your left hand. Come to your elbows and knees again. Neutral spine, neutral neck. Deep breaths. Feeling the space you created in your rib cage. We increased our lung volume just now. Take another breath. All right, so let's come to tabletop and on your hands and knees. If you need cushion under your knees, you give it to yourself. Or if your wrists are not quite happy here, you can always put the heels of your hands on the front edge of a blanket, on the fold of a blanket. That's helpful. Okay, so we're gonna do little push-ups here. So let's just step your hands one hand length forward from our perfect tabletop. Okay, so just a little bit longer stance in our tabletop. Now lean your weight into your hands. Okay, so our hips are still bent, but they're opened a little bit. Now, shoulders pull back away from the ears, and elbows point back toward the wall, toward your legs, okay? Not out wide, but so pull the arms in close to the body, and start to bend the elbows just a little bit, and then straighten. Bend them, and then straighten. Elbows point backward when you bend them. Point backward when you bend them. Keep leaning weight into your hands. So you've got more weight in your hands than you do your knees. And so in order for the elbows to point backward, we have to pull our shoulders down from our ears. If you let the shoulders collapse forward, then the elbows splay out wide. Can y'all feel that? And you're only bending as much as feels good. We're just practicing playing with our muscles. Take a good breath. Then straighten the arms. Go ahead and drop down to your elbows again. And drop your head down and walk your knees back to puppy dog pose. So straighten your shoulders out. So forearms on the ground, forehead on the ground, and pull your hips back away from them to open up the shoulders. Make sure your knees are supporting your hips so low back is happy with what's going on. Deep breaths. So your butt's up high still. So Alyssa, just move your knees back a little bit more. Yeah, walk them back a little more. Yeah. And elbows settle to the ground. And then pull your hips back gently. Good stretch in your shoulders. Big breath in. Big breath out. Okay, so lift your head. So come back to neutral. So if you need to move your knees forward or move your arms back, whichever one. Take a good breath. Okay, now let's lift your spine up to the sky. So you're up on your knees. Let's do backstroke shoulder rolls. Full arm back strokes. Okay, then clasp your hands behind you, thumbs touch your sacrum. So just align your pelvis, so tailbone down, belly in. Lift your spine tall and pull your elbows and shoulders back. Keep the elbows bent. Lower belly firms in, so try not to sway your low back. Deep breaths, opening the front heart. Level the chin and pull the head slightly back. Let's do another breath. Pull back a little more. And release. Shake your arms out. Okay, hands back to the floor. Step from tabletop. Step your hands one hand length forward. And then go off your mat to the outside edges of your mat, off the floor. Onto the floor, off your mat. Ah! Okay.
Friday.
And then rock forward, weight into the hands. So we're not going to straighten our hips all the way. Kind of just bringing more weight into the hands. You can always turn your fingertips outward if you need to. Now this time we're doing little bitty push-ups. Bend the elbows. The elbows go out wide this time. But we don't want to collapse the shoulders into the ears, okay? Keep them away from the ears. And just bend the elbows, firm your belly. So you can just do little movements or you can do bigger movements, whatever your body is okay with. Lower belly pulls in. Okay, then keep the hands where they are. Rock your weight back. Walk your knees back. And then drop the forehead, drop the elbows to the floor. So it's a wide puppy dog pose. So hands and forearms on the floor. Pull your hips back away. Your butt stays up high. Good breaths. Nice stretch in your shoulders and even into the underside of your arms. Elbows settle if you can. Take a good breath in. If you're not comfortable, then find a more comfortable place for yourself. If you need to take your hands more narrow, it's okay. Take a good breath in. Great breath out. This is a really good fascial stretch for me. I need this one. Okay, now before we come up, let's walk our hands toward each other. So more shoulder width apart and then rock forward to tabletop. Take a good breath. And then lay down on your belly. Come up onto your elbows, though, into Sphinx pose. Okay, we're up on our forearms. Elbows are straight down from the shoulder joints. And tops of the feet are on the ground. And let's tuck your tailbone, lengthening your low back. Push down with your forearms and your feet. So pinky toes push into the ground. So tops of the feet on the ground if you can to open up the fronts of the ankles. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. Lift the heart a little higher if you can. Or even drag your arms back and push your heart forward, but tuck your tailbone a little more when you do that. Take a good breath in. Great breath out. If you want to, push your hands into the ground and straighten your arms into seal pose. Shoulders down from the ears. Push down with your feet. Think of lifting your knees. So we get our legs strong still. Good breath in. Good breath out. And drop the heart slowly to the ground. Let's turn the left cheek to the floor, arms down to your side, palms face up, and rock your hips side to side. If your neck is not okay with this, you can put a hand under your head or grab a blanket to put under your head. Fall forward into the ground. Deep breath. Turn your head the other way. Fall forward into the ground, relax. All right, chin to the floor, hands beside your breasts, elbows in close, pads of the toes into the ground. Shoulders pull back, belly firms in, and push your flat spine up into half plank. And then pop your hips up and push back into a down dog. And you can walk your legs out if you like, or you can take your fullest version of the pose. Long arms, long spine, and then straighten your legs as best you can to open up the backs of the legs. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. Slowly bend the knees, land the knees to the floor. And then walk your hands forward and rock your hips forward into half plank. And then lower yourself back to the ground again. Use your arm strength. Okay, so let's take left arm straight out to the side, palm face down. And you can even scooch over to the right side of your mat if you like. Okay, so right hand right beside your breast, just like we were a moment ago, elbow in close to the body. Okay, so we push into the right hand and roll up onto our left side. Oh, I forgot to have y'all grab a blanket and have it nearby if you want to put your head on it. I got that. So we're laying on our left side. Stack your legs, stack your hips, stack your shoulders. And we're breathing. So legs together. We're stretching the front of the left shoulder and left arm. So at any point, if you feel like you need more of a stretch, your right knee can bend and stand on the floor behind your bottom leg. That just pulls your weight back to deepen your stretch. Deep breaths into the rib cage. And filling them up. That's it. Good breath in. Good breath out. Let's take one more breath. And we'll straighten the legs if you bend them. And belly back to the floor. You can either stack your hands under your head or extend your arms forward and forehead to the ground into frustration pose. So either way, just relaxing the shoulders and good breaths. Okay, so you can scooch to the left side of your mat if you like, and you can have your blanket near your head. Right arm straight out to the side, legs together, left hand right under by your breast, and then roll up onto your right side.
Wait, say it again, because I got all mixed
So
up.
left arm straight to the side, palm face down.
Yep. Then roll to my right side? No, left side.
Excuse me. Your right arm is straight to the side. That's it. Left hand beside your breast, elbow in close. Push into your left hand and roll onto your right side. There you go. Stack your legs, stack your hips, stack your shoulders. If you want to support your head, you can do that so your neck will be neutral. At any point, if you feel like you need more of a stretch, your left knee bends and stands on the floor behind your bottom leg. Just keep letting your hips rock, your left hip rock back. Just soften through your head and your mouth, your right shoulder. Take a good breath in, good breath out, and slowly straighten the legs if you bent them, and let the belly come back to the floor. And either stack your hands under your head or full frustration pose. Just to relax with a neutral spine and deep breaths. Good breath in. Great breath out. Okay, you'll lay on your left side and make sure you can see me, you can face me. And you can lay on your left arm or you can grab blankets to put under your head, whichever one feels better. And let's bend your knees in front of the body. Stack the knees, stack the hips. So bring the feet forward so the knees are at 90 degrees. The feet are out in front of you too. Okay, so grab your right foot behind your butt. You can always use the strap around your ankle if you need to. And lower the knee to hip level. Okay, so not below, not above, right at hip level. It's not because I'm a perfectionist, it's because that's alignment for your body. Okay, so then firm your belly and squeeze your right glute to push the knee back. So we've got a nice stretch in the front of the right thigh. Do you have a strap, Alyssa? Okay, move your knee back, 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 back.
What do you mean by that? Forward, back, like this?
Mm-hmm. So we're stretching the front of the right thigh. Zip, lower the knee down a little. You got it. Push the knee back, squeeze the glute a little bit more. Push the knee back a little bit deeper. We're lengthening the right thigh. Front thigh, the quad. Take a good breath in. Good breath out. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly release. Big breath.
Why would it hurt? It's the shoulder.
I don't know for sure. I'll watch and see if I can notice something, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so sit up and lay down to the other end of your mat. If you need your blankets for your head, you grab them. So that way you can still face me. And then lay on your right arm if it's comfortable, or blanket. Knees bent in front of the body. And then you'll grab your top foot behind your butt. So the knee is at thigh level, hip level. Squeeze your left butt cheek to push your knee back toward the wall behind you. So we're creating length in the front of the left thigh. That's it. Does it hurt on that side?
Not where it did before, but it feels great. Like not back here, which is what happened.
Right. So good breath. I see. Push the knee back a little more if you can. So you can still get a really good stretch here and not have your foot all the way to your butt. You can still have your knee unbent a little bit, or it's still bent but not as bent as much, and still get a good stretch. Just push your knee back though to deepen the pose for you. Let's take another breath. And then slowly releasing. That side looked good, Alyssa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't catch it the first time.
It's okay. It felt okay on that side. It was more the others.
Yeah.
Thank you for checking.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's put our legs up on something. So you can put the legs up the wall, or you can put your legs up in a chair. Do what would feel good for you for an inversion. But this is our final resting place. Habada, 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 habada. All right, so if you are putting your legs up the wall, you sit sideways. Get your hip and shoulder touching the wall, and then you lean back. Swing your legs up and lay down. And to get your butt closer to the wall, you push your elbows into the floor, lift your hips up, and scooch. And make sure you're even.
What do you mean by even? Like both sides?
Right and left sides are even against the wall. Even with the wall, perpendicular to the wall. Then, once you're comfortable, let yourself settle. Legs are as straight as they can be if you're on the wall. If your legs start to go to sleep at all, you bend your knees, okay? A little or a lot. So let gravity have hold of you. And let your breath slow down. Let your body soften. Let your mind slow down. We're letting gravity do its work with us. Emptying these legs out of stagnant energy and excess fluids. Feel your organs drop to the ground in your belly, creating softness there. Feel your organs being pulled toward the ground in the chest, creating softness there. And the same for the organs in your head. Let them relax. Jaw softened, tongue softened. Let your eyes sink into your head. Create more opening in the soles of your feet and the palms of your hands. I'm so thankful for this time well spent. Quality time of self-care. If you want to bring your awareness to your heart space. And imagine you're sitting, looking down upon your body, and you hold your heart in your hands, like your energetic heart, your heart light. Just imagine putting your hands upon your heart. Your hands are light. Hold your heart. Creating a sense of softness toward this heart. Allowing this heart to soften too. Let this heart melt. Any wounds or walls, just let those fade away. And as you pour love now onto this beautiful heart, and let this beautiful heart soak up this love. Receive it in. You can think of your heart as an infant with the softness of a baby in its essence, the kindness of a baby in its essence. Its purity, just like that of a baby. And the wisdom of the most ancient. So with great thanks, thanking this beautiful heart and this beautiful body and this most sacred breath, you'll start to deepen the breath and wiggle the toes and fingers. If you're on the wall, you can start to bend your knees. Some satisfying breaths. And when you're ready, you'll roll to one side, letting the legs drop off to one side. Please support your head with something, whether that be your arm or blanket or block. Big breath. We've created a lot more space in this heart and this body. And when you're ready, you'll push yourself up in sitting. Come into a comfortable seated position. Use any height you need. Just make sure you're pretty even from right to left, whatever you choose. And let's gather your palms together at your heart. And some swelling breaths. Just feeling the love that moves through this heart with every breath cycle. Maybe feeling your heart refreshed, replenished. And I'm so grateful for your gathering here today with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
What does namaste mean? The light in me sees the light in you.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got my hairs cut today.
I noticed. You had
Yeah.
your hair taken down.
I took my mohawk off.
Oh.
I'm getting mine.
Took my tail off.
I'm so excited to get it cut tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did Andy do that for you?
No.
Ooh.
That
I
sounds like
went
it.
to a miracle worker. So I didn't give her much to work with.
Yeah, I-
Cleaned it up for me.
It looks good.
Yeah. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
Ann.
Have a good night.
You too.
See you in the morning.
All right. Bye now.
Good.